Hello everybody and welcome back to this tutorial, and let us continue with coding our DNS spoofer. So in the previous lecture what we did is we actually coded the process packet function, which took the request from the target and then it checked if there is a certain website in the query name from the target, and if there is that website we perform the redirection to our Kali Linux Apache 2 web server. So before you do anything right now, make sure that your Apache 2 web server is running. You can do that just by visiting the IP address of your Kali Linux machine, so 192.168.1.9 in my case. I go right here, I have my fake Facebook page right here, and I want to redirect the users to there. So let us nano our DNS spoofer. As we said in the previous video, before we actually run anything, what we need to do is make a little bit of changes to our skp_packets so that the target doesn't recognize that someone actually changed some of the fields in the packet itself. So what we will do is we will add right here, since before we actually set the payload, we want to make the skp_packet to be equal to the actual packet where we delete the fields. So we will call the function del_fields, and we will parse to that function the skp_packet. So we will code this function right now, and we will paste to it the packet itself, which only consists of the payload from the IP header, which will actually be the UDP packet, since the UDP and the since the DNS responses and requests are being sent with the UDP protocol. So let us code the function right here, def del_fields, which will take this skp_packet as an input. And all we want to do is actually check the UDP and IP header, since if we open up our skp and we ls the DNS, we can see there is nothing really important or that important to us, as the DNS packet itself is something that we changed before. But if we just look the IP header, as I showed you in the previous video, there are these two values, length and checksum, which we actually need to get rid of in order to send the actual real packet, which will not prompt users, or not prompt users, which will not drop because the length and the checksum of the actual packet do not match. And also in the UDP field, we have the length and checksum, so we know that the DNS is running over UDP, so we also need to delete these two values right here. And we can do that with simply using the del command in the Python 2. So let me just show you. Del fields, what we need to do is actually delete and specify what we want to delete. What we want to delete is skp_packet. From the, first of all, let's use the from IP header, we want to delete the .length field. Also, we want to delete the del skp_packet. From the skp.ip header, we want to delete the checksum, which we specify like this, so chk sum. Now, what we want to do is, first of all, copy these two lines right here, since we don't want to write them once again, and we could just paste it right here. And all we have to change is this IP header to be UDP, and in the fourth line also to be UDP. So we deleted all the unnecessary fields, and right now we can actually try to run the program, but before we do that, we want to return this skp.packet from our function. So return skp_packet, and that should be about it. Oops, skp_packet. Let us save the program. So program should be good to go. We made a function del fields, we return it to the skp.packet, and then we set our packet to have the payload from the string of the skp.packet, which will not consist any of these fields, and which will also have the query name to be specified for this IP address, which is our Apache 2 web server. So let us save this. Let me go to the commands where I saved them right here. Python 3. These are some of the or not backdoor, DNS spoof, cat DNS spoof.txt, or let us nano the DNS spoof.txt. Now, here are the commands that you need to run before you actually run the program itself. These are some IP tables rules, which will create the queue under the number 1, which is specified in our program, which will allow us to run our code without any complication. So first thing we need to do is, as you can see, we need to first flush the IP tables. So let me just cat it right here. Oops. Cat DNS spoof.txt. And just run the same commands as I do. So first of all, IP tables -- flush, which will flush our IP tables. Now we want to forward the queue. So for IP tables, capital I forward, and then -G NFQ, and then the queue under the number that we specified, which in my case is number 0. If you specified any other number, make sure to specify it right here. So -Q -number, or just num, and then 0. And we can copy these other functions so we don't actually type them. Just copy paste. You will need to type it since you're actually typing it for the first time. And make sure to actually save all of these functions to a text file so you don't remember, so you can have them anytime you want to run this program, since there is no point in actually remembering all of these commands. So we run everything like this. And what I want to go is I want to go to my desktop and run my DNS spoof.py. Let me just see, failed to create queue 0. Okay, so what I will do is I will close my terminal. I will open it once again. What I will do is I will run all those 4 commands once again, so I don't actually get error second time. Okay, and now if I try to run the program, it is running, and all we have to do right now is visit the page that we specified in our program. Okay, so I forgot to specify to not print the packet, but it doesn't really matter. What we want to do is open the page. Let's first see if we can connect to the internet. Our program is running. We can see it is printing a bunch of random stuff. If we try to visit a page that we specified in our link, so this page is the page, we click right there, and you can see we got redirected to the fake Facebook page that we are hosting on our Cal Linux Apache 2. And even if the user, for example, specified wrong information right here and clicked on login, what they would do is they would actually get redirected to the real Facebook page telling them their password was wrong, even though it probably wasn't. So first of all, we know that our program works. The next thing we want to actually fix is the printing. So we don't actually want to print anything. So nano your DNS spoof and just either hash this or just delete this line. Since we don't really need it, we don't want to print that. And right here you can specify any IP address you want. For example, let us see the IP address of the actual facebook.com. We can do that with the NS lookup, facebook.com. And currently I'm probably having problems because I ran the queue. So let us close the terminal, open it. So this is the best way you can actually restart everything. Let me enter my root mode once again. Go to my desktop, enlarge this so you can see it a little bit better. And check the IP address of facebook.com. Okay, so Facebook doesn't work for some weird reason. Let us try a different IP address. For some reason this is not working. Let us try to ping our router in order to see if we are actually connected to the internet and can send the packets. Maybe we are having a problem, which is normal once you run these programs that actually interfere with your IP tables, with your connection. Sometimes you will get disconnected, especially when you actually run your ARP spoofers, as they sometimes know to kick somebody off the internet, and that somebody is most likely always going to be you and everyone else on the local area network. So let us see this. Let us actually restart Network Manager, and we can do it with service, Network Manager, restart. Just crashed, you're currently in the fallback mode, do you want to restart Cinema? Okay, so not really sure what is going on right here. Ping 192.168.1.1. Okay, never mind, we can get this to work, it doesn't even matter. What I will show you is you can basically just check the IP address of any website you want, and you can just specify it in the path right here, which is, if I cat the DNS, which is this path right here. You just specify the IP address of the website you want to redirect to. So that will be about it for our DNS spoofer. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will continue coding in the next lecture back on our Kali Linux machine. Hope I see you there, and take care. Bye.